Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic day. In today's video, I want to share an in-depth review of Voluspa California Summers. I picked up the Hearth Size of this fragrance back in November of 2024 when the Voluspa website was having their either Black Friday or Cyber Monday sale. I can't remember if I managed to get this for either 20 or 25% off. I want to say it was 25% off. The Voluspa website very rarely has any sales. So typically going forward now when it comes to purchasing Voluspa, I have actually started looking at some other websites that also carry the line, but that have more frequent sales. So in the future, when I am purchasing from Voluspa, if it's not around the holidays where they're having one of these significant, sales, I will probably choose to purchase from retailers like Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's. They both carry the line. There's actually a number of websites that carry Voluspa that have far more frequent sales than the Voluspa website. So I will go ahead and link California Summers in the description box down below. I believe that I have seen it on sale at a few different places here in the last couple of weeks. So check out the top of the description box. I will put some information there in terms of the best place to pick this up if you're interested in investing in this one for spring, summer 2025 here. So but yeah, I originally came across this fragrance when I placed an order with Voluspa last, I think it was either spring or early summer. I was purchasing a bunch of their 3-wick tins to review here on my channel. I was also trying to find some of my favorite fragrances, and my favorite way to try Voluspa fragrances is with their larger 3-wick tins. I find those pretty economical, and also I find that they give a pretty good representation of what you also get with their like glass 3-wick jars that they offer. So if you are ever interested in a Voluspa fragrance, but you don't want to invest in the beautiful glass jar, maybe you don't know what you're going to get, try their 3-wick tins. It's going to give you, I think, the best, like I said, representation of what you're going to get with some of their larger formats of candles. Personally, I have found their just regular candle jars to not have the best strength and throw. Listen, they're beautiful, but I do think that their 3-wick candles in these beautiful glass vessels that they have, and then obviously the Hearth Size that I have here, which is a 5-wick style, I think these give you the most oomph or strength and throw, if you will, for your money. So this is the format that I prefer. I fell in love with the Hearth format when I purchased my Noble Fir Garland a couple of years ago for the holidays. I have now used Noble Fir Garland for 2 holidays in a row, and I'm still not done with that candle. So I don't anticipate finishing California Summers this summer at all. In fact, I probably foresee myself maybe getting to the halfway point and then probably placing this one back in the candle closet, and I will then enjoy it spring, summer 2026 again. But I didn't actually purchase California Summers in a 3-wick tin. When I made my purchase last spring to sample a bunch of scents from them, they actually tossed in a really small little tin of California Summers, and it was then that I fell in love with the fragrance. And I knew immediately that I would want it, just outright wanted it in the larger format. Originally, I was thinking I'd get the 3-wick beautiful glass jar here, but I sprung for the Hearth. So that really says something. You guys, these are not inexpensive candles. In fact, I would consider Voluspa especially with this Hearth Size to be at a luxury price point. So if I'm going to purchase a Hearth Size from Voluspa, I have to really love the fragrance. And I also have to be confident that I'm going to love the fragrance for at least a couple of years. And California Summers, I just immediately knew I love this and I want this in my life for at least a couple of years. So let's go ahead and dig into this amazing, fresh, beachy coastal fragrance. I'm going to go ahead and start with the usual scent description. We're going to read through all of the fragrance notes. We'll discuss the strength and throw specifically of the Hearth Size here. Obviously, if you are buying their 1-wick candle jar or just their small tin or the 3-wick tin, the strength and throw is going to be a little bit different. So this is just in terms of the Hearth Size, obviously, when it comes to the strength and throw here. And then I will address any burn issues. I did actually originally have a little bit of a burn issue with this one. It seems to have now corrected itself, but I do want to address it. By the way, at the same time that I purchased California Summers, I also picked up the Tahitian Coconut Vanilla, which I'm actually burning in the other room right now. The California Summers and the Tahitian Coconut Vanilla, I think, kind of belong together. So if you're looking for a scent combo from Voluspa, I would highly recommend pairing those two. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig into it, you guys. So if you want to purchase this one, it is available in all of their formats. It looks like they have the reed diffuser, they have the large jar candle, they have the room spray, they have the hearth, the classic candle, the 3-wick hearth, the small jar, the mini tin, the 3-wick tin, the ultrasonic diffuser fragrance oil, the refill candle. You can basically get whatever you want here. If you are not familiar with Voluspa, they are handcrafted in California. And they do use a coconut wax blend, which burns incredibly clean. I'm a huge fan of pure soy myself, but also I have found that Voluspa's coconut wax is really, really clean burning as well. So let's go ahead and I'm going to read through their little fragrance description here, and then we'll dig into the notes a little bit deeper. So their description reads, plunge into the blue, sorry, let me start over here. Plunge into the blue horizon and escape into another realm where the worries are reduced to coasting on hypnotic rolling waves. A salty ocean breeze tickles the skin as the sun reaches its peak height of the day, leaving you to bask in a teakwood sling chair. Leathered in a tonic of warm vanilla and coconut milk, welcome the rising tides to wash away the cares of the day. All right, so the in-depth fragrance notes on this one are California waves, sea salt, warm vanilla, and teakwood. They have this one in their fresh and aquatic fragrance family, and I think that's a good place for this one for sure. The very first thing that I noticed about California Summers, even in the little tin that I received from them, was that like beachy ocean, like salty air type of vibe. It really gives off a really authentic beachy air type of fragrance. It's really unique. One of my favorite places to vacation is the beach. I just love that fresh, salty air. And this particular scent, I think, captures that in a way that is almost magical. It smells so authentic, you guys. So you've got that like sea salt vibe going on, but then that immediately leads into this warm vanilla, which I would actually say also has a good dose of a like warm kind of creamy coconut note as well. Coconut is not listed in the fragrance notes, obviously, but I tell you what, I smell it in here and it is absolute perfection. It is the perfect match for that beachy, salty ocean air. And then at the base, you do have a really nice woodiness. Now, it's not your typical like driftwood. It really does smell like teak wood. It's warm, it's cozy, it's almost kind of inviting in a way. I find that a lot of woody scents sometimes are a little bit aggressive to my nose, and I don't always love them. But with this teak wood note, it's soft. It's not overly aggressive in the fragrance. It's the perfect amount of that teak woodiness just at the base, and it almost serves to support that salty ocean air and that vanilla creamy coconut that is at the top of this scent. You guys, I cannot put into words how amazing and in a way simple this scent is, but just how incredibly well it's executed. This is fantastic. And if you are a lover of the beachy scents and you like that addition of the warm vanilla and the creamy coconut and the that teakwood note at the base, you're gonna love this. It is beautiful. I cannot say enough good things about the scent. This is that little tiny tin, but just amplified and stunning. It's just beautiful, and it is perfect for summer. If I had a beach house, this would be what I would want my beach house to smell like. It is perfect. I live in Oregon, so our beaches are a little different from the California beaches, but I would totally burn this at my, I don't know, someday from now, Oregon beach house. It's perfection. I hope that they never do away with this particular scent. Let's go ahead and dig into the strength and throw here. So obviously I'm reviewing the Hearth Size, so the strength and throw will be from that perspective. The very strongest fragrance experience that you're ever going to get from a Voluspa is hands down going to be from their Hearth Size. This is an enormous candle. I don't even think I told you guys what the burn time is on these. Let me just kind of look that up here really quickly. Let's see. I don't remember. Okay, so the burn time is around 250 hours. And this is 123 ounces of that clean burning coconut blend coconut wax blend that they offer. So strength and throw of the Hearth Size, sorry about that, for California Summers. I'm gonna go ahead and put the strength at a solid 9. You guys, it is a powerhouse in that respect, but I expect it to be that for the size that I purchased here. So it is a solid 9 out of 10 in terms of strength. And the throw, honestly, it's probably, I won't give it a 10 out of 10, but it does fill basically in the entire downstairs of my house. When I light this particular scent, I don't necessarily have to burn another candle. I do have a more open concept style of home with really high ceilings. So a lot of times I do burn candles on kind of both ends of the downstairs of our house to be able to get a house filling experience, if you will. But this one here, when I have this lit in my entryway, it not only fills, I would say, probably 90% of the downstairs of my house. The only place that this doesn't really get get to is my laundry room, but that laundry room is kind of down the hall around the corner. So I'm not surprised, you know, that it wouldn't travel there, but it does fill the upstairs of the house. Our entryway has a stairway right next to it that leads to the upstairs, and it's very open. That is the highest ceiling point of our home. And because of the airflow in our entryway, this travels upstairs and I would say fills out the bulk of the downstairs as well. So obviously some pretty great strength and throw here. So we're gonna go a 9 out of 10 for both strength and throw. Let's go ahead and address the overall burn quality here. Now, my very first Voluspa hearth candle, the Noble Fir Garland, never had any issues fully pulling out. It never once tunneled on me. It was perfect. The first burn does take a number of hours. I'm going to warn you, you are going to have to probably, if you work full time, maybe light it on the weekend. You're gonna have to give this at least 6 to 7 hours to fully pull out for the first burn. Now, the first burn that I did, once I reached hour 7, it still had not reached the edge of the jar. But we were going to bed, so I knew that I had to blow it out. Wax does have a memory, and so you really need to make sure that you are allowing that initial wax pool to completely go edge to edge, or, you know, reach all sides of your candle here. Otherwise, you're going to start to experience some tunneling, and that can be a little bit of a pain to correct. So the next burn that I did with this one, I let it go for another 7 hours. And unfortunately at that point, I knew that that wax memory had kind of been created from the first burn. And I could not get the candle to completely pull out, even when I burned it for 9 hours on the second burn. So what I ended up doing, for the most part, I was just about there, right? Like there wasn't like a ton of wax that was, you know, tunneling, if you will. But there was maybe like 1/4 of an inch worth of wax that I just could not get it to melt. And I knew that I did not want to see this candle tunneling. So what I did is, after the second burn, I extinguished the candle and I went ahead and took a dull kitchen knife, and once the wax started to harden just a little bit, I went in and I basically cut out just that little ring that was not pulling out. And I ended up using that in some of my Scentsy warmers for a few days. So I did get some fragrance out of that wax. I didn't just trash it or anything like that. I shouldn't have had to do that, but for whatever reason, even after burning this one for 7 hours on the first day, it was just not pulling out for me. And then with that wax memory situation, I just knew that this was never really going to correct itself. So I went ahead and cut out that wax. And then the next burn that I did, I let it go for like 8 or 9 hours. I mean, it went a long time, but the wax did reach the all of the edges of the glass, and I got that full wax pool, and it was good. But I was a little bit annoyed. I'm actually having a much bigger tunneling problem with my Tahitian coconut vanilla, so I'll definitely address that when we get to that review. But this one now seems to be doing fine. I have now had many subsequent burns since cutting that little bit of wax out, and the candle has burned fine ever since. I'm actually at a point where I think I might want to do that with my Tahitian coconut vanilla. I keep hoping that at some point, if I burn it long enough, it'll completely pull out. But like I said, wax memory is a real thing. So yeah, I just don't think it's gonna happen. And yeah, but this one corrected itself. I'm really glad that it did. And let me give you guys an overhead shot so that you can see where she's at now. Please note that I did just light this candle about, I would say, maybe an hour to an hour and a half ago. It's not completely pulled out yet. It's still gonna take a couple more hours, but I can already smell this filling up not only this formal living room here, but it's wafting out into the entryway. Like, it is working on scenting the entire house today. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have going so far. I'm telling you, when you see how little of the wax is actually melted and how strong it is already, it's kind of crazy. So you can see that is not even a full wax pull yet, but I mean, I can already smell it like throughout almost the bulk of the downstairs. So a really good performance here. I do keep this candle in my Pottery Barn Chester Hurricane because I think it looks really pretty in there. But when it comes to Voluspa, you can see that their glass is quite thick. You don't need a Hurricane per se, but I do think that it helps. You can see here, there is a little bit of wax here on the side that didn't melt out during the last burn, but that's not a big deal. So I'm just gonna leave that. But yeah, this is gonna take several more hours to fully pull out. And I'm actually filming this on Sunday, so I have lots of time to let this go today. But once this reaches a full wax pool, I'll probably let it go another 3 hours beyond that, and then I will go ahead and extinguish it for the day. The Voluspa wicks are usually very short, so if you've never burned a Voluspa, just kind of prepare yourself for that. I do not trim the wicks on the initial burn, and I do not trim the wicks on subsequent burns. These are almost self-trimming wicks, if you will. So just kind of final thoughts here. Do I think this candle is worth, what is this full price? I think it's $235. Yes, full price. They are nice enough to offer free shipping, but full price, the Hearth Size is $235. Do I think it's worth $235? I do, but I completely understand where other people would not have that perspective. I love the fragrance. I love the quality of the burn. I love the strength and the throw. I love the vessel, the aesthetics. Just all of it is perfect to me. So this is a winner in my book. But would I purchase it at $235? No, I would not, because I know that I can wait for a sale to come around either on the Voluspa website or, like I said, check out Nordstrom's, check out Bloomingdale's, maybe sign up for their emails. But yeah, for 20 or 25% off, preferably 25% off, I would definitely invest in this Hearth Size again. It's beautiful, and I am so looking forward to enjoying this one throughout spring, summer 2025. Let me know what your thoughts are on California Summers, and leave your thoughts about this, this price point and what you get for the price point. Let me know if you think it's worth it. I'm definitely curious to see how other people feel about it. I kind of have a feeling that most people are going to say it's not worth it. But I am curious to see kind of what the general consensus is. For me, the Hearth Size, it's beautiful, and I will invest in it over and over again. But it does have to be a fragrance that I absolutely adore. So anyway, for what it's worth, yes, I think this is worth the price point on sale. And you'll be seeing more of these here on my channel in the future for sure. So let me know if you have any questions. Check out the description box for the links that I mentioned, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.